This may be the peak of centralization of power. What has been going on this week is truly revolutionary in my views. It started with Wallstreetbets versus the hedge fund Malvin Capital, but in my views it is about so much more. It was only a matter of time until Elon would go out and publicly endorse Bitcoin. I think it resonates so much with his worldviews, and yes, he has kind of been joking around with it, and his jokes about Dogecoin, which is flying high too, were really hard to interpret as well. But the events of this week just show one thing: people are getting aware of the fact that it is necessary to decentralize important aspects of our lives. So like social media, the financial system, and at some point maybe even the nation state. So a group of hedge funds at Wall Street have shorted the crap out of GME, which they thought would go bankrupt, and they got caught naked, literally, since the stock was shorted even beyond the available shares, with the consequences of a massive lack of shares available to buy, which got discovered by some smart people like Deep Fucking Value on Reddit. And now back to Elon Musk, who made a similar experience before when Tesla was artificially depressed by fear, uncertainty and doubt in the media and by the short selling mechanism, which by the way NEO also was a victim to in the beginning, and also remember the short selling reports by the lemons. So in the end, a bunch of smart retail investors saw the real value in the company and an opportunity to grow their wealth, and in the case of GameStop, this somewhat escalated in much more than the company revaluation. It rather became a political movement that people are willing to buy the shares at any given value actually, so just to hurt the shorts that were facing unlimited losses at this point. But of course, the hedge funds are fighting back in their own way and involving the market maker Citadel, which is backing the hedge fund for stabilizing it. And the whole thing caused a disruption going around the world of the stock markets, involving the brokers that can't deal with the price volatility and the liquidity risk aligned to that, so resulting in trading bans for most of the retail investors, but notably not for the institutions. And on top of that, the fact that Discord took down Wallstreetbets, and it seems even on Reddit, Wallstreetbets was blocked for a while, and retail investors were basically blocked also from buying more shares. And in the nutshell, this leads to the fact that there is a growing need for decentral access to not only the markets, but ultimately also free speech. So just looking at the tweets from Elon, this is at the core of his thinking and aligned with his personal experience too. So I think what will be the result is a move more into Bitcoin adoption. Ultimately, in Bitcoin, the value proposition is that no one controls the money printing and the exchange of value. We'll also see more development in the DeFi space and new social media networks being built. And what needs to happen, in my view, is that the stock exchanges move to the blockchain. There are some projects already going in that direction, and meanwhile maybe regulators will step in and try to limit the influence of retail investors, but it's already a matter of fact, and these case studies have shown that retail investors have now similar tools available to analyzing stocks, finding information online, and ultimately making even more and better decisions than the hedge fund managers. And now with the result that people are upset that hedge funds can lose on their bet and get bailed out, but when retail takes similar risk and fails, no one is holding the stock. So I think we are now witnessing a systemic problem and risk here. It could even go so far that market makers will actually get into liquidity problems if other short squeezes occur, and it will make shorts much more cautious in the future. So for example, during the week I witnessed how general markets tanked because of the funds were in search for liquidity, for instance selling, liquidating positions in order to cover other short bets, and this led for instance to really low volumes also in NEO and in Tesla. So these are just some symptoms of these events unfolding. What will happen in my views is that ultimately retail investors and in the future also institutions will join the movement of, for instance, Elon and Chamath and Jack, and build new platforms that cannot be compromised. So what do you think about the whole story about Wallstreetbets, and do you think Elon and Tesla will actually buy Bitcoin, or maybe they have already? Let me know down in the comment. Please like and share, and see you in the next one.